Cox. Goes in on the left. Lopez. It was as always Lopez, actually. It's gone in. Cameroun should have said. Painter Andrews gets the goal. Some issues right on that last line of defence. Brandon Cameroun sees it go past him and into the back of the net. Early goal for Hellas.
Yeah, it was a good block from Brandon Cameroun, department away, but Altona Magic were just sleeping, and Painter Andrews just storms through and headed it into an open goal.
Goal for
well deserved.
Hellas, scored by number 27, Jack Painter Andrews.
Hasn't been able to trouble the scorers this season. Jack Painter Andrews gets the early goal here. By the way, Dan, apologies for my goalkeeping mix-up there. It's Cameroun in the all-green. I do think it's normally an all-green kit that Harvey Lopez does wear. He's in all-orange today. Apologies for that. Early lead for South Melbourne. It's stolen by Lawton. Aru. Some nice touch. Kawaguchi in tandem across the back with John Stachevski, the former captain. Lawton. There's immediate pressure. Swivel was offside as Uchida came in to help out Pasquale. South Melbourne have been looking very, very dangerous early here. And it was a goal that was probably coming, just reading the tea leaves of those first 10 minutes.
Yeah, Altona Magic haven't really helped themselves, just like that situation there. They've played themselves into trouble. We all know that Lakeside's a tough place to come to on a Sunday afternoon. You'd think that the first 10, 15 minutes you just try and lock it up and not give away any silly goals or possession away, and Altona Magic have done that quite a lot this afternoon so far.
Cox has it in a little bit of space again over on this left side. Still with Aaron Cox. He cuts back late. Some players had stopped. Play is continuing. Uchida gets blocked. Some confusion in the box again. Gust will clear away for Altona, going in the direction of John Mabok. And it'll be South Melbourne's throw. Bit of confusion coming from the Altona bench. This was so nearly a fixture involving two coaches who did not start in that role for each side this season. And just a blaze away from Jordan Lampard. The news that did come through with Sisik Hadzic no longer being the coach, and then suddenly, not too long after that, that decision being reversed. It's been the talking point across NPL Victoria circles throughout the week. And for most of us sitting neutrally here, Dan, you would say, well, sanity eventually prevailed.
Yeah, I think when I first saw the decision, I thought it was a bit harsh. Two trophies from got a team out of a relegation battle as well, and to then be sacked after losing a final, I think that's a bit harsh. But obviously, there's potentially some internal politics or other issues that they've all seemed to deal with, and they've done well. And I think the right decisions come about. And today they've started it like a house on fire. So I think there might have just been a bit of fake news from within the club.
Label it whichever way. Fake news. It was just bizarre. And as I said, sanity prevailing. Snižek and Hadzic with already 2 trophies in the cabinet. A little more than 12 months into the role. Had South Melbourne on top of the league earlier this season. And they could be in the running to make a charge through these middle latter portions of the season to give the league a really decent crack still this year as they get some regularity back into their schedules. No more flights to take. And decent breaks between games. Anything could really happen. The window about to open as well. Richard are going out wide. And Cox has seemingly done whatever he likes over on this left side so far today. Kawaguchi dealing with the cross in fairly easily. Uchida goes back to Lampard. Jankovic going all the way back to the orange-clad Harvey Lopez today. Painter Andrews, the scorer in the 10th minute. Uchida. It was a good ball by Painter Andrews as well. Lampard sets up Cox again. The central ball intended for Swibble. One more time for South Melbourne. Lovely ball over the top from Lampard, and Pasquale's the one that cannot get anywhere near on target. But what a lovely little chip over the top there from Lampard, who's had a really eventful 15 and a half minutes so far here today.
Yeah, it was a great forward run from Pasquale there. I think he was trying to clip it into the back post, and unfortunately on his weaker foot he's just kicked it out for a goal kick. But once again, South are just really dominating at the minute. It looks like they're really trying to isolate Cox out wide 1v1 and get the ball to him so he can use his pace and beat his player outside or inside and get across in with 3 boys in the middle waiting, Mikola, Uchida and Swivel.
Aru. Ultimately wins the duel against Aaron Cox. It's in many respects been one-way traffic so far. And Sopolis surrounded by blue. Altona did hold a lead for a fair portion of their earlier fixture against South Melbourne this year. Mani Sordo scored in the 24th minute, and he's not featured today at all in the squad for Magic. Noel Bernarda double not long after the hour mark, eventually leading to the Hallis win. Noel Bernarda does not get the start here today. He's taking a seat behind Snižek and Hadzic at the moment. Good to see Jack Pope back into the squad today, available as one of the subs for South Melbourne. There's no Charlie Leach in the squad either. And Jacob Eliopoulos not featured. Mani Sordo, the only notable that we won't see here on this Sunday afternoon. Diagonal along the ground finds Uchida. Swibble into the open space for Cox again. Got double teams in the end. McCloskey going in to help out Aru. McCloskey didn't keep it in play. Max Mikola is going to come over, and we know what's coming up next thing.
Yep. Yeah. Once again, Altona Magic just playing themselves into trouble, and now they've played the ball out and inviting unnecessary pressure especially when you've got someone like Max Mikela on the opposition team. And we know where this is going. It's going right on top of Brandon Comano's head.
And as per usual, he starts in lane 2. Oh, he's gone along the ground. Uchida. Maybe just a bit too heavy, that ball back to Pasquale. It might still come off, though. Uchida. The full turn, but not on target. That's a second shot from that kind of range. It wound up in the same sort of area. Nothing at all that was going to trouble Brandon Kumino in goal, who is replacing Casey Went today, who's taking a seat. Coming out to clear out Jack Painter-Andrews in the 10th minutes. His goal separates South Melbourne from Altona, approaching the quarter mark of this game. Final game in the league for 12 days. The transfer window finally becomes available. For some sides, it could already be too late, Dean. 16 rounds into the season. There's 10 to come after today, 11 if you're Preston or Melbourne City. Mabok has his shot blocked. Altona win a throw in the attacking third. Garangaroo will come over to send it in. And his run-up is nowhere near as long as Max Mikela's. In fact, it's no run-up at all. Down to Fabrizio. It's stolen by Yuki Uchida. Into the middle of the park he goes. Mikela wanting Swivel. Finding Swivel. On the bounce. That is a beautiful finish. That's a champagne finish from Geordie Swivel. 2-0 South Melbourne.
And once again, that's come from an Altona magic mistake. The throw was short. As the ball got played back to him, the fullback hasn't put a tackle in, and they've come break. And a fantastic strike by Swivel. Those waited for it, set it perfectly, and I think he's dusted the cobwebs off the top corner there.
Goal for South Melbourne Hellas, scored by number 9, Jordan Suivez-nous.
It's his 4th league goal of the season. And early alarm bells for Devon Bonnet. South have put goals away at the end of essentially 2 10-minute blocks. And Altona need to stem the flow. They've not been able to put Harvey Lopez under any pressure at all so far. Not even really sure if Lopez has even had a touch yet for a goal kick. He no doubt probably has had a touch or two in this game. But he's had the easiest shift of all time so far, Harvey Lopez.
Yeah, I think the only touches he's had was when Jankovic passed it to him. They haven't had a goal kick or a shot on target at the minute. So he's quite comfortable, but you never know. As a goalkeeper, you've always got to be switched on because something can happen out of nothing.
In transition, nothing really happening for Altona so far. Nice ball going out wide for Gust. Given up way too easily in the end. Painter-Andrews in the right spot for South Melbourne. Here's a touch for Harvey Lopez. Just gets himself into the game a little bit. Pasquale did have McCloskey closing in quickly. Heard the man on call. Cox. Giannakopoulos. South Melbourne with all the time in the world. and in full control. They've got the luxury of having their preferred starting 11 back available on a weekly basis. And there will be some clubs in this league, Dean, who will have to face the best first choice 11 either once or twice. Others that got their look at what was essentially a second 11 throughout the year. That's purely luck at a draw. There was a spate of 4-0 results that went against South Melbourne through more recent times, but especially throughout May when the OFC really got busy. Painter Andrews has gone down here. Didn't catch exactly what happened there. But again, yeah, it's just that. It's one of those narratives this year. What South Melbourne are you going to get? To some sort of extent, a similar kind of thing happening with Melbourne City now as well, where other commitments, other competitions completely dictate the 11s that get rolled out at this NPL Victoria level.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say it was South Melbourne's second 11. It's probably their third or fourth. There was a majority of 23 players of a squad, and then a couple of players that didn't make the OFC list, which is, well, one, first and foremost, fantastic opportunity for these young kids to prove themselves at this top level and give them experience. I don't think there are many other clubs that are giving players that are between the ages of 16 to 21, I guess 4 or 5 NPL games a year. They got it in a row.
Yeah, that would have been the huge positive for a lot of South Melbourne's youngsters to get that level of exposure at senior level in NPL Victoria. That is no doubt going to hold them in good stead going forward. An opportunity that many other youth players at other clubs aren't necessarily going to get, certainly not altogether at that volume. Since Hadjic right now, not too happy, just barking out a couple of instructions to his charges. Max Mikola will go again, starting on the athletics track. And we'll get the winds up from the home fans here. Now searching for a 3-0 lead. It's a huge ball in, just overhead of Jankovic. Altona get away with it. Cox, Uchida. Cleared away by Aru. Safely in the hands of Kumanal now. It's just been hard to chain any decent possessions together for Altona so far, and even now they're having trouble just clearing their lines from the back. Cox does get it back for South Melbourne. It'll fall back to Jankovic. And the 1-2 with Uchida, who's been awfully busy already in this game so far. Painter Andrews. He's going to get mauled here. Gave away that foul in the end. Again, we've got a guest referee here today down from New South Wales, Hayden Longholes, in charge here today. The long ball intended for McCloskey. Lopez, Mabok not far away. Came right to Alexander Gust.
I think Magic out of possession are sitting a little bit too much deep, and they're just inviting this South Melbourne pressure when they've got the ball, and when they have possession, they just turn it away too cheaply. They just need to take a step back and just take a relax and try and keep the ball or play a little bit more forward. But at the minute, it's all South Melbourne, and I just find it really hard for Magic to find a way to get into this game at the minute.
Mikola. Nice ball coming to him from Painter Andrews. Still Max Mikola over the top of the ball. Painter Andrews kept the run going. Defensive effort was good from Gust in the end. Gust kept at it. And they're setting up for a corner. Geordie Lampard will take it. I think this will be our first corner of the game. Just before the half-hour mark here. So South scored not long after the 10th minute, not long after the 20th minute. We're about to approach the 30th minute. They are going at a goal every 10 minutes. It's gone all the way to the back post. Inglese had a really difficult time. The ball had too much on it in the end. All the usual suspects were up. We know Marko Jankovic is a threat. From corners, nothing coming this time.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit overhit by Geordie Lampard, and Inglese had a little bit too much to do, but once again, South starting to insert the dominance late into this first half. It looks like there's not going to be any respite for Altona Magic, but if they hold on to the score going into half time without conceding another one, it's all to play for.
Mikla was onside as Altona fold back. Swibble is one that gets the shot away, unlike his previous attempt, which was a beautiful finish. There were no issues that time for Brandon Cameroun. In the direction of Daniel Fabrizio. The sky ball lands at the feet of Swibble. Felt like he was held by Stachevski. Then the whistle went not long after that. It will be a South Melbourne free kick.
Yeah, great first touch by Swibble, even being held, but I think Max Mikkela's shot on goal, for my opinion, would have been classified as an advantage, but the referee blew before Mikkela got clean contact on the ball.
Gust to bring the ball back into play for Altona. Bock had no room to work with. Seas eventually parted and South were able to launch an attack. Pasquale tried to link up with the charging Uchida. Didn't work out. Lampard. Uchida had Kawagachi for company. The boot in from Aru was effective enough, and Altona are going to try to set up some sort of counter. There's just nothing of quality going forward for them when they do launch an attack. It's been easy pickings for South Melbourne defensively throughout these first 32 and a half minutes here at Lakeside. Jack Painter Andrews and Geordie Swibble, your goal scorers so far. A misfire from the block in the direction of Fabrizio. Gust regains for Altona. Kawaguchi. Lawton had to really stretch hard to get any sort of contact on the ball. Swibble will go wide, and the space is on offer for Cox, who's now on the right side. Cox could have gone himself. Booted it straight into Stachevski. McCloskey. Good first touch. Lopez out of the area. McCloskey's been put down after the fact.
Yeah, that was a much better break from Altona Magic. They left a couple of numbers forward. Not sure if that was tactical or just players a little bit tired to get back, but as soon as they won that ball, they had intent to go forward and they broke, and it was a good forward run, but the free kick helps them, and now they can hopefully build some more pressure.
Fabrizio the target. Lampard is happy to give away what will be Altona's first corner of the afternoon. They've left Javier Lopez with very little to do so far. Are they thinking about taking a shorter corner here? Probably not now. Fabrizio folds back into the box. In swinging ball. I'll get another chance via a throw from Brian Sudamo. Nope, he will give it to Aru. Took a while to find the right option to go to. Mabok just got bowled over in the end. Cox. Some pressure from Hatsopoulos. Swibble. Didn't quite time his ball well enough. Coming out toward Fabrizio. Kawaguchi was going to be put under a lot of pressure by Geordie Swibble there. Altona have done well to keep it in possession. A little shirt tug. And a how do you do between Giannakopoulos and Gust.
Yeah, I think it was Altona Magic's best bit of play there by Bryce Schroeder, the boy down from Queensland. Had a difficult season last year at Gold Coast United, but decided to make the switch down to, I guess, beautiful Melbourne with weather like this at the minute. And he's probably having not a great time this season as well with Altona Magic with their league positioning. But there was his best chance of the game, and hopefully he can spark something to lift his teammates and the team to go forward in the second half.
Ball bounces in front of Javi Lopez. Watson with the setting up ball out wide. No shots from Altona, let alone shots on target. Nothing really to speak of in attack for Magic so far. They've given up 2 goals the other way. Jack Painter-Andrews. And Geordie Swibble. Orchard has been awfully influential so far. Pasquale has some space to go for it. Kept it low enough, but not on target. They've been happy to take a look from range at South Melbourne so far. Looking to put to an end a 5-game winless streak in the league. Altona have lost their last 2 since picking up the 1-0 win at home to Preston back in round 13. They'll be hosting St Albans Dynamo on Sunday week. In fact, no, that'll be an away game at Dynamo for Altona. A battle of 2 Western Suburbs clubs as Hatsopoulos finds a gap. But Mabok can't keep it under control. Got taken away from him by Giannakopoulos. Aru will give Altona another crack here. Around Lampard will go in south, trying to curl it. It was off the post. Lopez trying to keep it from going over the line, which he did not do. It is 2-1.
Goal for
And so 2
Altona
chaotic goals
Magic.
out of 3 in this first half at Lakeside.
Yeah, great run and a little bit of spark for the Altona Magic needed. It was a great shot off the post and it ricocheted and Lopez tried his best to keep it out. But the linesman has indicated the ball crossed the line. It did look like from the angle that we're at, it crossed the line. And there is the lifeline for Altona Magic back into this game.
It started with the run from Hatsopoulos. South Melbourne just couldn't really clear out. It got as far as Geordie Swibble. They're going to quickly counter and try to get their 2-goal buffer back here. Pasquale will be the one. Off the post again. And it's ricocheted off the boot of Max Mikola, who's been denied by the flag. Drama on both goal lines here. This one's just livened up a bit in the last few moments. Lopez at the edge of the box. So the curling ball that came in from Aru off the post. Wonder if there was a touch in there from McCloskey after the ball had hit the post. If not, it's probably going to be almost given an own goal. That could be an own goal to Jack Painter-Andrews. Difficult replay to decipher there, Dean. 2-1 either way.
Yeah, then a great chance by Pasquale. Once again, a great forward run and striking it off the post. And it looks like Max Mikola was offside, but it does look like an own goal by Painter-Andrews looking at the replay. And unfortunate, well, he's got 2 goals at least for the game.
It's been a lively affair, especially in the last 5 minutes. You'll take them whichever way you can get them if you're Altona. There was only a minute later where the ball was in the back of the Altona net, albeit Max Mikola called offside. A free kick to take here for Geordie Lampard. Last 5 minutes of this first half. Some friendly fire between Gust and Hatsopoulos. Cameroun makes a save and quickly releases out wide. Well over the head of Mabok. Lopez for Jankovic. Glaze. Cox tried to go down the fancy route with a little back flick toward Painter-Andrews. It didn't come off though. Demon here. I feel like that goal just actually has changed things in this game entirely. I felt like Altona weren't even really in it. Now all of a sudden, this game has a completely different feel about it. I know that might sound silly and probably easy to say, but at 2-0, South just in total control. Altona didn't look like firing a shot at all. They do get a goal almost by accident, really, but they've been a bit more positive in the last 5 or so minutes, and now it does feel like all of a sudden there is an actual contest in our hands here.
Yeah, definitely. It's the spark that they needed to give themselves a little bit more belief and understanding that they're capable of getting something out of this game. And I guess also South's goal being disallowed from Mikola has also given them that opportunity to go, well, no, it's still 2-1. Well, let's go throw the kitchen sink for the last 5 minutes or so before half-time and we'll see what we can get. But it's been a lot more positive. It looks like there's a lot more belief out there at the minute, and it's definitely the spark that they needed.
Yuki Uchida. It's a clever little flick forward, then took the contact from Alex Gust. Gust has really been in the thick of it in the physical stakes here so far. Anakopoulos and Painter-Andrews trying to work something with Aaron Cox, who started over on the left, now applying his trade over on the right side. Kawaguchi with Mikula applying some of that pressure. The whistle does eventually go on Max Mikula.
Yeah, once again, there's still that belief at the minute for Altona Magic, and there's a silly challenge by Max Mikula. I don't think Magic had many numbers forward, and it was silly to give away to allow them to put the ball forward, but there is a sense of urgency, a sense of belief at the minute, easing through the Altona Magic players. But I don't think it's probably the best team to play against to go nice and long. I think it's one of the hardest winner header against, so I think they're about to cheaply turn possession over.
Final minute of regulation. The only real injury concern was for Geordie Lampard very early in the piece when he got tangled up with this man in Glazy. His ankles got twisted up. It looked pretty bad on replay, and he was in quite a bit of pain. 1 minute is the official number on the Forthies board. One more minute for Altona to snare an unlikely equaliser here. Two of the three goals resulting just from some chaos on the goal line. And the other one was a borderline weldy from Geordie Swibble. A chance from the corner flag here. It's Kawaguchi that will take it for Altona. Can they snatch an equaliser? This could be the last piece of action we see in this first half. The Kawaguchi corner. Will they get a chance to follow up here through Aru? It was his shot that led to the Altona goal. And it is half-time.
Half-time at Lakeside Stadium.
Well,
The score is
Geordie
South
Swibble
Hellas 2,
scored a lovely
Altona
goal,
Magic
his second goal.
1.
Other than that, all the scoring has involved Jack Painter
Plenty of
Andrews
food and
in
options available at
some way,
Circle
shape or
Club,
form.
including
He scored
Greek donuts
in the
and
10th minute.
Gyro and Slovakia.
And then it does appear to be an own goal off Jack Painter Andrews that resulted in Altona getting one back. Dean Minia, your thoughts before we take our halftime break here on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel?
Yeah, South Melbourne started the first half a lot better and dominated. Altona Magic looked a little bit sluggish, but that goal that they scored lifted a spark, and they've finished that second half a lot better. So hopefully that's the resurgence they need for the start the second half on fire, and I'm looking forward to the next 45 minutes on this beautiful Sunday afternoon.
We'll take a break here from Lakeside Stadium. Halftime, the final game of round 16 before we take our mid-season break. It is South Melbourne 2, Altona Magic 1. Welcome back to Lakeside Stadium. It's the final game of round 16 in Chaine NPL Victoria. South Melbourne 2, Altona Magic 1. Adam Sarikoglu and Dean Mania on the coverage. Dean, we've had a half-time change from Altona. Brandon Lawton will not see any action in the second half, and Lockie Gillard, who started last week against Oakley, will be starting the second half here today.
Yeah, and Altona Magic will be looking to start this second half the way they ended the first half. But giving away a silly free kick like that isn't going to help continue that momentum.
In some respects, a tale of two halves in the first half. South Melbourne completely dominant, scored both their goals within the first 22 minutes. Jack Painter-Andrews and Geordie Swibble to make it a 2-0 lead. But then we had the run being made, Garangaru, who curled in a lovely shot that found the post over on the far side.
Coming off number 8, Brandon Lawton, and coming on number 3, Lachlan Gillard.
As we have the substitution confirmed here via the very prominent PA system at Lakeside Stadium. So the ball's coming off the post after the shot from Aru, and then appears to have been knocked in accidentally by Jack Painter-Andrews. Harvey Lopez desperately trying to prevent the ball from crossing the paint, but it did not. And therefore, we have a 2-1 ball game to start this second half. Yuki Uchida, Jack Painter-Andrews with Alex Gust right there in his way.
Yeah, it's just started well. This second half, I think Max Mikolo will look to launch this long throw in, but unless he's got something up their sleeve, a bit like the first half with this sort of set play, which surprised us all, I believe. But let's see what happens.
Mikola, 2 lanes into the athletics track as always. Big throw in. Kumanel goes over. He needs to recover. No shot was taken in the end. Yankovic trying to follow up again, but only goes as far as Hiyori Kawaguchi. And there were some early issues there, but Altona been able to overcome those. They find themselves chasing an equaliser, which seemed unlikely after what we saw in the first half an hour of this game. Painter-Andrews goes past Yuki Uchida. Sent wide by Cox, who starts back over again on the left as he did to start the game. Did switch over to the right in the middle of the first half. Aru colliding with Uchida. Uchida is not getting up easily. The whistle does eventually go. It's Hayden Langholz in charge of proceedings here today. And this will be a set-piece chance for South Melbourne. Yuki Uchida, he's not getting up just yet. Does so now. No cards being shown here. Just a bit of a marking spray to mark the spot from which this free kick will be taken. It's a 5-man wall for Altona.
So it looks like a massive 10 yards. It looks a lot longer than standard.
Bit more breathing room here. Swibble did go into the wall, and that was a lot of venom on the follow-up. Actually split some of the advertising hoarding there. I think that split was already there. And Geordie Swibble actually found it. He's been hitting a lot of shots with venom today, including the one that did go in the 22nd minute. He's a good player with good touch up front for South Melbourne, Geordie Swibble. Scored his 4th league goal of the season. One of the better ones of the season in Chaine, NPL Victoria. But that shot that did go in, Dean, yes, great finish from range, but he had so much time to set it up as well. It was almost served up on a platter for him, and he got the job done from there.
Yeah, and it really came from Altona Magic mistake in the attacking half, so they committed numbers forward, and then South broke forward, and they just didn't transition quick enough into defence. He had that time to just wait for it. It's set perfectly, and he's hit it absolutely sweetly. And he's well renowned for a good goal. He had a couple in the OFC where he did very well. And it's something that is capable in his locker, so he's just that type of player that could go missing and then just pull something like that out of the hat.
Cox looking to get to work on Kawaguchi into the advertising, which has been a feature at this venue. Remember the goal celebration that we saw from Charlie Leach, and that inflatable green bottle is there. The Euritos. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Dean, but did see that elaborate celebration. He actually followed up with a similar one at Dynamo, which was the last time South got a win in NPL Victoria. Not in the squad today, Charlie Leach. Pasquale. Dispossessed by McCloskey. Mikola. Ball stopped for him. Tried to guide it in toward Yuki Uchida. Naru's ball in the direction of Owen McCloskey. And Glaze doing the defending for Hallis.
Yeah, Inglese has been playing really well. Good start. Got a chance to start today. Obviously, Iliopoulos is out injured. And he's stood his ground, played quite well. And it's very nonsense. Just if it has to go, it goes. He doesn't take any risks.
Iliopoulos among the notables missing alongside Charlie Leach for South Melbourne. And quite a few notables on the bench today. Noel Bernardo, chief among them. And here's a moment for South Melbourne. Uchida. Stachevski was on the near post. Still a chance for Mikola. Goes underneath his defender, but not underneath Brandon Kumanal, who is replacing Casey Wentz in goal today for Altona. Another moment of danger averted by Altona. Stachevski goes down the line for Painter Andrews. Javi Lopez. We did make a comment in the middle of the first half there, Dean, that he hadn't really put much of a shift in, didn't need to, wasn't really involved. He was having a picnic. And then things got a bit chaotic for him late as Altona made a late surge in the first half.
Yeah, and I think the most he had in the first half to do was majority with his feet until that really half-chance clearance own goal by Painter Andrews. But that's the game of football. That's why everyone enjoys it. Out of nothing, teams get a spark and lifts them up, and then towards the end of the first half, he probably needed to make one or two more saves.
Just ahead of McCloskey. Lopez will blast away. Just about in the twilight here. 3:30 kickoff on a Sunday afternoon to round out round 16 in NPL Victoria. Mabok going out wide. Fabrizio, they're in the box here, Altona. Fabrizio cutting back, tried to take the shot on the left, booted it straight into Jankovic. Then Kawaguchi goes over. And Altona can have a little sneaky look at a set piece.
Yeah, fantastic opportunity now for Altona to put some magic on the to put pressure on South Melbourne's back four. It'll be interesting to see if they can get a quality delivery. It's been lacking thus far in that first half as well. So looks like Brian Samato is taking the free kick.
No, down 2-0. Are they on the brink of bringing it back level, Altona? 5 minutes before the hour mark. Sudamo just overhead of Aru. Gus can follow up. Mabok going along the grounds. Easily picked off by Jankovic. Mikola up against Sudamo. It's another foul for Altona. Not a single caution from Hayden Langholz in the first half. Quality referee coming down from New South Wales today. Brandon Kumanal is having a conversation with the assistants over on our near side. Not happy about something on the officiating side of things. The Altona goalkeeper, Sudamo, a little slow to get up. A little worse for wear. But it's been a relatively clean game here so far. As noted with the lack of any yellow card shown nearly an hour in, Stachevski will place this one at the top of the box. Is there enough tall timber available for Altona to cause some issues for Javi Lopez? The ball was a little too direct toward the goalkeeper, and he grabbed it pretty well. Giannakopoulos for Mikola. Pasquale was the over-the-top option, but it'll bounce safely into the hands of Kumanal.
Yeah, a good little break there by South Melbourne. I think the lack of quality by Max Mikola to find someone's feet just let him down a bit, but great take by Javi Lopez under pressure. Nice little roll to Tommy Giannakopoulos to then break out to Max Mikola. And once again, something to keep an eye on is Seb Pasquale's forward runs. They're absolutely magical. He makes these runs from deep and gets in behind and creates goal-scoring opportunities.
Sudamo. As McCloskey wanted to make a run of his own. While Demonia was talking about the runs that Pasquale's been making today. That is not a cross of any quality or notability. Mikola gets away from Gust. Sudamo held him up though. Gust can have another crack at Max Mikola here. Painter Andrews. It's a good enough ball from Mikola. Painter Andrews goes straight into Stachevski. Gust stayed with it the entire time as well. No shot fired in the end. Inglese goes straight into the advertising hoarding here on this near side. Throw to be taken by Owen McCloskey. And there was one half-time substitute made by Devon Benet. It was Brandon Lawton coming out and Lockie Gillard making way. Or rather, Lawton making way for Gillard. And Glaze takes the free kick. Jankovic. And Glaze. Pasquale, no room to work in this time. Whose ball is it? Altona's. Matsopoulos worried out of it. Gust. McCloskey was available, just running by him. Good presence of mind there from Gust to utilise McCloskey running down that touchline. Gillard, the half-time substitute for Brizio. Can't make anything of it.
It looks like in possession, Altona Magic have got a lot more numbers up high. So it looks like their 10's sitting as like a second number 9, and their 2 wingers, which is occupying South Melbourne to be a little bit more deeper, and they can't press as high. And they've had a little bit of joy because as soon as they win that ball, they've got numbers out on the break as Payne Andrews tries to go nice and long for Pasquale.
Nishika Hazic is making his first change of the day. Alex Menelau is going to come on. It's 2-1 at Lakeside Stadium with a half hour to play. The final game.
For South Melbourne FC, coming off number 3, Jordan Lambard. And coming on, number 14, Alex Menelau.
I should have known better that the PA system was going to cut me off there, Dean. Final game before the transfer window does open up. We have the week off coming up next weekend as well. Indeed, the last game before the FIFA World Cup gets underway. And so the change has been made. Menelau has come on. Mikola. Oh, he's thrown all the way to the point where Kumanau has to tip it over the crossbar. Of all the weird and wonderful things we've seen from Max Mikola long throws, I'm not sure I've seen that.
Yeah, it's such a weapon, isn't it? It was a great throw, and Kumanau was probably in 2 minds. Should he just leave it to go in the net, which becomes a goal kick, or does he tap it over in case it hits a crossbar? And he's taken the safety risk and tapped it over, and now South Melbourne have a corner.
Max Mikola's corner. And again, Kumanau under all sorts of pressure to keep it out of his net. Pasquale. Tempo's just lifting here now for South Melbourne. Cox gets tripped up. Are we going to see a counter-attack of any sort of description from Altona? The long ball from Aru in the direction of Mabok is not going to come off for Magic. Painter Andrews goes inboard for Jankovic. Swivel. That was very, very nasty. And it happened right in front of Hayden Longholes, and it's a yellow card for John Stachewski. And a very clear yellow at that.
Yeah, it's the first touch Geordie Swivel's had in a while as well, so they finally found his feet. He's laid it off, and I think it was just a little bit late by Stachewski, and he's come through the back of Swivel, and it's definitely foul and a yellow card. But the tempo's lifted, and I think from both teams, the game is starting to open it up. So it's becoming more yo-yo-y, and there's going to be a lot more chances to come within the next 15 minutes, I believe.
Normally a clean player, John Stachewski. That's his first yellow card of the season. Altona are trying to get out of the relegation zone. South Melbourne trying to book a place in the top 5 with 10 more fixtures to come in the regular season in Channel NPL Victoria. Trying to put themselves back into a spot where they can chase more silverware. Pasquale over the top. Kumanau, did he get a touch on it or not? Looks like he did. Oh, almost inch perfect from Seb Pasquale.
Yeah, fantastic shot and a great save by Brandon Kumanau. Off the long throw, they defended quite well, and they just fell to Pasquale on the edge of the box, and it was a great little chip to try and get the goalkeeper out of position, but a fantastic save.
South Melbourne is starting to pepper. They want their 2-goal buffer back. Another corner. Altona have withstood the pressure so far. Ball would come to ground in the penalty box, all the way back to Painter Andrews we go. And a little flick on in the air from Inglese will amount to nothing. John Stochevsky is gesturing over toward the assistant on the sideline, not happy about something. Now, it's how much more pressure can Altona absorb here, Demonier?
Yeah, I think if they keep holding on and grinding this defensive unit and keeping this game, I think it's just going to take one counter-attack to get out. But if they keep sitting a little bit too deep and South keep peppering, it's going to potentially get ugly. But as they break now...
It's McCloskey! It's 2-2! Against the flow! Out of nowhere! And what a finish that was. He found a gap between the post and the glove of Javi Lopez. Altona get their equaliser, game on a Sunday evening at Lakeside Stadium.
Well, as I was just saying, that's all it takes, a little bit of luck to get on a break and a fantastic finish. That's been two worldies down at that end of the game and a great strike, and it's just sailed past Javi Lopez.
You just take your chances when you get them. We're not that far removed from the chip from Sep Pasquale that almost snuck in under the crossbar. And then the long throw from Max Mikula before that, where Kumanel had to tip it over as well. Nothing coming there for South. Altona launched one attack the other way. And all of a sudden, it's 2-2. It's a standalone fixture on a Sunday afternoon. Nothing else really worth watching around the tube. I hope you're enjoying it. 2-2 between South Melbourne and Altona. Altona looking for their first win against South since 2021. And there's no flag here. Oh, wow, Mabok has given Magic the lead. 2 goals in 2 minutes. South Melbourne stunned.
And that's all it takes. In the first half, at the start of the game, we thought South would potentially run away with this game. But Altona Magic stuck to their guns. They sat deep. They defended really well. Scored before half-time. And they've started this second half counter-attacking football and scored 2 absolute worldies. That's 3 great goals we've seen down at the Lake End. But, wow, they've really turned this game around.
John Mabok has been the go-to man for Altona. He scores his 6th goal. Hasn't had much quality ball coming his way all day. Hasn't been able to have any real impact on this game at all. And all of a sudden, a 1-goal deficit becomes a 1-goal lead for Altona Magic. If they can keep this up, this could be a monumental day in their campaign to survive relegation. And for South Melbourne, Demonier, if this result holds up, it would be a 6th consecutive fixture without a win in NPL Victoria.
Yeah, but I also guess when you're a club like South Melbourne with the stature that they have, you can look at your bench and you can bring on arguably one of the most prominent attackers in NPL Victoria football, the one and only Noel Bernarda. And it wouldn't be too harsh of a guess to think that Sinister Kohajic is going to bring him on very shortly to try and get this game turned around.
Yep, he potentially looms large, Noel Bernarda. We know he loves a goal, but he especially loves a goal here at Lakeside. It's an ace up Significant Hodges' sleeve. And we shall see if he gets utilised. 2 goals in 2 minutes. Has turned a 2-1 South Melbourne lead into a 3-2 Altona Magic lead. And both goals, fantastic. Owen McCloskey, John Mabok, Stachevsky has been prominent in this second half. McCloskey. There's a belief about Altona now that Dean was touching on after the first goal went in the latter portions of the first half. It took them a while to get going. They were completely dominated in the first half hour of this game. The next half hour has been completely different. Just 2 forays forward for Altona. Almost just throwing the kitchen sink at it, just have a go. And on both occasions, they've been able to convert and put South Melbourne completely on the back foot now. Menelau going out wide. Inglesi has a bit of time here. Gust will happily see that go out.
Yeah, it's really half chances. I think that second one was more of a half chance. It was on a tight angle, on a half volley to strike it that early. Probably caught Javi Lopez out of position, not set. Even the first one, bounced in between Pate Andrews' feet and whatnot, and they've just struck their shots, and they've both paid off. And the counter-attacking football this second half that Magic have played have been a lot better than what it was in the first half. And it's paid the price. They've got the result they've looked at. They've turned around the game, and now the pressure is on South Melbourne, Sinister Kohajic, to turn this game around, because, as we say, South Melbourne is one of the biggest clubs in Victoria, potentially Australia, that they're aiming to be. So they really need to get 3 points here today.
And we are about to see Noel Bernardo come on. It's going to be a triple move. Jack Pope is also going to be coming on. We'll just stay with Jack Pater Andrews here for the moment. He has no way past Gust. He's been pretty good here in this second half. Sinishka Hardzic is going to clear the bench. That could be potentially 4 moves. I don't know if he even got 4 subs available. I think he does. And he's clearing the bench, Sinishka Hardzic. Painter Andrews. A dramatic week just got a little more dramatic for South Melbourne. Yes, the mitigating circumstances behind their 5-game winless streak as Mabok has it just not quite reach his feet. There are reasons why they are currently in a 5-game winless streak in the league. And even getting their preferred 11 back, they ran into a red-hot Hume City last week and can only get a point out of that. This was the fixture they would have had circled and thought to themselves, well, this is the one we can get our season back on track with and just launch. And Altona having none of that. Even if the first half hour of this game made it look like that South were perhaps going to get an easy kill here today. Altona just having none of it.
Yeah, as we said earlier this afternoon, it's been a weekend of upsets, a weekend of teams surprising a lot of the competition, saying, no, we're not written off at the minute. And this result, if it stands, will put Bentley Greens into the relegation zone, and Altona Magic will jump and get out of them, and it'll give them a sense of belief that they can stay up and keep fighting, which will then make the window a lot more interesting to see who they bring in. I believe Bentley will be making some signings as well, which will be interesting.
Lucas Inglese, Max
Quadruple
Mikola,
substitution for South Melbourne FC. Coming off, number 6, Lucas Inglese.
Jordy
Coming
Swivel.
on, number 13, James Lackey. Coming off, number 9, Jordan Swivel.
and Seb Pasquale are the 4
Number
players
24,
coming off.
Will Bernarda. Coming off, number 21, Sebastian Pasquale. And oncoming is Nico Mezzaruni.
A quadruple change, as we just heard
Oncoming is number 99, Jack Pope.
from our friend Neil Simons.
Coming number 22, Max Mikola.
The 4th official had a lot to do there. Frantically changing the numbers on the board. And so the 4 players on. This man is one of them, Nawal Bernarda. We've got James Lackey. Jack Pope. Nawal Bernarda. Mezzaruni now out there now as well. Snitchkin Hajic has cleared the bench with 15 minutes to play on a Sunday evening, which could prove to be very, very fruitful for Altona Magic. And they're searching for their 4th win of the season. First win against South Melbourne in 5 years. And they've lost every fixture since bar 1. There was a 0-0 draw between these two last year.
Yeah, this second half has really been promising. It's probably the best I've seen Magic play in a while, and they've really put the pressure on South Melbourne. It's like South Melbourne's back 4 and defence haven't really been able to cope with it. But it looks like Sinister Klausjic is making a little bit of a tactical change where Payne Andrews will go next to Jankovic and Cox will go into right back, it looks like. So more of an attacking fullback role to try and get numbers forward.
Definitely a different look at the back for South Melbourne now. Cox inboard for Bernarda. Good to see Jack Pope out there. Throw to be taken by Gust. So we came here today, Dean. All right, standalone fixture on a Sunday. Not much else going on in NPL Victoria, or indeed any other sports going around on this Sunday afternoon. And I'm thinking maybe we'll get a decent audience here to watch this game today, but South relatively safe favourites. Altona have forced us to put some more respect on their name. We'll see what happens from this cross from Cox. Dealt with pretty well in the air by Aru. Painter Andrews on the follow-up. It's going to bounce in front of Cox. Painter Andrews kept at it as well. Out it goes. Dachevsky defending. So that was the build-up into this game. And for the first half hour, it did look like, all right, South might just do a number on Altona here today. This has turned into a Sunday evening special. The final game of round 16 in Channel NPL Victoria. And it's still well and truly up for grabs for either one of these teams. It feels like there's so much on the line. It might not actually be the case given we're only in early June. But South Melbourne, after the week they've had, removing then reinstating Snitchik and Harzic. Altona fighting for their place in NPL Victoria. Yes, it's only early June, but there is also plenty on the line here today. What would a loss do around the South Melbourne Football Club inside the 4 walls after the week they've had if they were to drop this game and a lengthy break before the next fixture, which will be away to Bentley next Friday night. It's a part of the fixture that South will be looking to get some points in. It's going to be Bentley, Green Gully, and then the 2 Dandenong teams, Thunder and City. There's points on the line here for South, but if they don't get any today, Dean, where's that going to leave them?
Yeah, I think it's not the run that you want. It will be 6 games without a win. You go into the window, and then you go up against the Bentley Greens, who would have topped up after the window. Well, middle of the window, I guess. They would have topped up with players. They'll have a belief and confidence seeing that Altona Magic can roll them. And it's just not the type of environment you want to go to, especially when you've got these teams fighting for relegation. On the other hand is Altona Magic now can go into the fortnight's game with a sense of positive, but they've beaten the Australian Cup Oz Championship champions, obviously runners-up, and the belief within the group will, if it stays the same, grow.
Cox with the cross in. Lockie Gillard was working really, really hard to deny any chance for South Melbourne. It will be a corner to be taken by Aaron Cox. Altona chased an equaliser for a fair period of this game. Now South are trying to bring it back square once again to set up what would be a grandstand finish. The corner in. Jankovic was the one that got a chance. Bernarda took a shot. That didn't get all the way through. Back at the halfway line, Painter Andrews will take a throw, but not before we have an injury stoppage right in the middle of the penalty box. Brian Sudamo, I think it was number 16 that I saw on the shirt. And so we get a little breather before what is going to be a huge finish here at Lakeside.
Yeah, I think the last 10 minutes plus stoppages, it wouldn't surprise me if you see South start to throw the kitchen sink and commit numbers forward and put the pressure on to Altona Magic, which they've withstood thus far this second half, and they'll look to continue on that counter-attack. But a fantastic second half from Altona Magic has really put a spanner into South Melbourne's plans of getting away with 3 points today.
There will be a change. Sudamo is going to come off. Gavin Tasevsky is coming on. And Sudamo's in no rush whatsoever. Still plenty of time here. Altona scored 2 goals in 2 minutes. This has been a chaos league this year. It's been a chaos weekend in Chaine Olympia, Victoria. Why not have another upset after the weekend we've had? McCloskey looking to deny James Lackey. Corner for South Melbourne.
Altona Magic coming off number 16, Brian Sutamo. Coming on number 13, Gavin Tasevsky.
Oakley and Heidelberg taken down this weekend. Is South going to be another giant to suffer defeats in round 16? Painter Andrews. Hatsopoulos gets a boot in. He's taking on 2 South players now. One of them is Mazzarini. Here we go. The pass off this time. Fabrizio going back to Mabok. The build-up looked a bit similar to the goal that did go in for John Mabok. This time Mabok was passing to his captain. And Fabrizio, 3 goals this season for him. And after a little sustained period where South kept pressing hard in search of the equaliser, could Altona just finish it? They haven't needed much of a look to score here today. McCloskey has some sort of issue now. Are we going to see some of the antics as we get through to the end of the 90?
Yeah, great opportunity there by Altona Magic. I think if they had a shot on target or potentially scored that, that would have been the final nail in the coffin for South Melbourne this afternoon. But some good defensive recovery by South Melbourne, and It looks like McCluskey's going to come off with a bit of blood. So he's been sent off the pitch. And the physio's running across it, which will enrage the South Melbourne bench.
Domenico makes his way across the pitch, and the South Melbourne player's not happy about it. Altona would play with 10 for the time being. And Dean, I think South need to take advantage of that. 5 minutes left. Lackey. No way through. Jankovic. Painter Andrews. Scored the first goal of the 5 that we've seen here today. Can he set one up here and split Bernarda and Pope? McCloskey is ready to come back on. He hasn't caught the referee's attention just yet. Lackey now. Gets around Gust. And apparently no one touched it all the way across the goal face. And South have to launch again from the other side. Jankovic. Lackey. Really stern defensively was Gust. Bernarda just had a brief moment where he could have maybe fired. Now Altona survived that attack.
Yeah, Lackey causing a little bit of problems out here on the right, but referee wouldn't have allowed... Is there going to be a substitution? Or no, they're going to play, but South need to really lift up again now. It looks like they've flattened a bit.
Painter Andrews gets dispossessed. And they're off to the races again. Aru trying to play in Mabok. Painter Andrews getting back. Lackey and Gust. The extra man there was an Altona man. Hatzopoulos. He crosses in. They're trying to finish it. McCloskey didn't get a good look. Good defending by Marko Jankovic. 2.5 minutes left in regulation. Another change will come for Altona. Snichka Hardzic, about 12 minutes ago, cleared whoever was left on his bench. Jack Pope was one of those subs. Out wide we go. Lackey taking on Gust. I think Alex Gust has been really, really good today. He's been so reliable for Altona since he became a regular for them a few seasons back. It's out for a goal kick.
It looks like the subs, since all the subs have come on, South haven't really looked like creating.
Substitution for the Altona Magic. Coming off, number 11, Owen McCloskey, and coming on, number 9, Eric Constantini Zil.
Created any clear-cut chances. Looks like they lost that whole rhythm the front 4 had with Mikola, Swibble, which just hasn't helped for them to create. And they need to really find something to happen in the next 2.5 minutes plus stoppages.
Final minute of regulation. A South Melbourne win is pretty unlikely. Constantinic already involved here. Has only just come on. Can't generate a chance though. Lackey. Uchida. Was quite influential in that first half hour where South were on top of Altona. Yuki Uchida. Gust retrieves the ball off the Uchida throw. The block gets fouled. How many minutes will be on the fourth officials board? We're about to find out.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 6 minutes of added time.
Wow, that is really good news for South Melbourne. Maybe they could snatch a win here. 6 minutes. Cox. Mezzaruni is the first option he could have gone to. Pope is making the run into the box now. Noah Bernarda more toward the back post. Ball never came in though. Just pinballs around. Mezzaruni denied. Giannakopoulos put down after he passed it forward. And the foul is called. Got to create a chance here, South Melbourne.
Yeah, I think Cox did a little bit too much there before he got the cross away, and it was a great run by Jack Pope to get into the box, but hopefully, is that Andrico Mezzaruni standing over the ball at the minute to take this free kick? He's got something special in his locker, so hopefully he can put a good delivery in.
Goes over the top of the initial wall that had been built there. Lackey has had plenty of action since coming on. Too many white shirts surrounding him though. Don't know if that was overly necessary. Certainly felt compelled to halt John Mabok. In his mind, it probably was necessary to absorb that yellow card. Only the second yellow of the day. Handed out by Hayden Lungholz. There was 6 minutes added on. And Altona don't necessarily seem content just to run out time. They'll be more than happy to finish it. South have had a habit of late of conceding 4 goals. Albeit not with this personnel. That wouldn't want to happen again, surely. Pope with the ball central that will result in a chance for Cox to advance it further forward. Where's the shot going to come from? Was that a foul? Yes, it was. Rue will take a... Hayden Langholz was going into the pocket, but no card shown. The free kick will be set up. This one's much closer. It was Garang Aru that gave away the foul. Who has the magic touch from the dead ball? Mezzarini has the task here. South Melbourne for a really, really late equaliser to steal a point away at the death. It was on target, and Kumanal was up to the task.
Yeah, fantastic free kick and a great save by the goalkeeper. That's something Andrico Mezzaruni has in his locker. He scored an absolute worldie, actually 2 of them at the OFC Pro League, and as soon as that free kick in that area, he looked up and he said, "That's mine."
Toward the near post. Gust had that marked. Lucky with the higher ball in. It's Pope. Head in hands as soon as he made connection. And the clock keeps on ticking as South Melbourne stare down the barrel of a 6th consecutive fixture without a win in Chaine Olympia, Victoria.
Yeah, fantastic ball in by Lucky. Headed down. And Pope on the half a little bit too much. and he's put it over the bar. Unfortunately, that might have been the best chance South had to get a point out of this game.
Altona on the verge of their first win against South Melbourne in half a decade. Kumanau has stood really tall today. Yes, he's let 2 go in, but he's made some really, really good saves as well. And that free kick from Mezzaruni was on target. Kumanau twice has had to tip very dangerous balls over the crossbar. He took Casey Went's place in the starting 11 today. And based on what we've seen, Dean, I think he's keeping that spot. The shot, this time coming from Cox, goes over. Yeah, I think Brandon Kumanau is pretty safely going to be the starting keeper next week, I think, or the week after.
Yeah, I think Brandon Kumanau has got some really good pedigree. He was at Green Gully last year, Yarraville at the start of last year, I believe, as well, but he was also number 1 at Northcote for a couple of years, and I believe, if my memory serves me correct, he's come down from Queensland as well. He's a very good goalkeeper, and he's just proven today why he deserves to be a number 1 keeper.
There were 6 minutes added on. We are through those. Altona have come to Lakeside and taken down South Melbourne, and they came from behind to do so. As happened to them back in February, where 2 goals within 2 minutes just after the hour mark ended up seeing them go down to South Melbourne earlier in the season, they have flipped the script, and after the hour mark with 2 goals within 2 minutes, have dished out some revenge on South Melbourne and claims a 3-2 win here today. It was Owen McCloskey and John Mabok who scored those goals not long after the hour mark had ticked by. They were down 2-1. They were down 2-0. An own goal from Jack Painter-Andrews made it 2-1 at halftime. Jack Painter-Andrews and Geordie Swibble were the scorers for South Melbourne in the first half. And so, well, it's funny how things happen like that. 2 quick goals after the hour mark, resulting in a South Melbourne win against Altona in the first fixture. And then pretty much the same thing happens in reverse here the second time around. And it's a season split between Altona and South. Altona's first win in 5 years against South Melbourne.
Yeah, fantastic second half from Altona Magic. They managed to turn the game around. In that first 30 minutes, you thought that the South would run away with the game, but great character, great effort, great hard work, and they punished South Melbourne in that second half. Fantastic turnaround, and that's hopefully the belief and the fire to start them their push for survival now. They jump Bentley Greens and push them into the relegation. Now for South Melbourne, they've got to go back to the drawing board through this next week. Hopefully sign a couple of players and reassess, regroup, and push hard to go home for the